I don't think there's anybody in this business that does better than me. No. Maybe, who was it, Conor McGregor. He does actually a really good job.
Thanks a million, Tito. A man of great wisdom. It's Tito Ortiz. Welcome along to obviously Fight Talk episode 124. This is Noel O'Keefe and I'm joined as always by the handsome Robert Palin.
Thanks.
Never disagrees with it. Unbelievable vein. Anyway, this week, it's a weird one this week. Not a lot happened in the world, really. Cage Warriors went down at the weekend, and Rob said, we got to talk about Cage Warriors. I said, Rob, I recorded it, I haven't watched it. We're not talking about it. Apparently, the main event is unbelievable.
This is an MMA show.
Yeah. Busy man. The main event is quality.
It was a quality, yeah, great main event. I think Graham Boylan called it the best main event in Cage Warriors history. He just wants clicks maybe, but I don't know, that was good.
Wouldn't be biased now, Graham, would he?
No, he wouldn't be biased.
Not at all.
Why would he be?
Nope, not at all. Not like he owns the company. So this week we're going to do things a little differently because, as I said, not a lot happened really. No big talking points. Unfortunately, Brendan Dorman's not with us again this week. He's just not well. Brendan, if he was a horse, they'd shoot him at this stage, I think, of his life. But he's not with us this week, so we're doing things slightly different. We have your news, but we're calling it big stories in MMA this week. It weren't really that big. Not a lot happening. And we will be looking ahead to UFC Fight Night 138, and that's Volkan versus Smith with our predictions and preview. Rob is really prepared because he thought this card was last weekend.
But I stopped preparing then when you told me to stop. So I'm not really prepared.
He's got a lot of preparation done this week.
Outdated
so expect some serious breakdowns. But here's your obviously Fight Talk quick fire. No. Not really. We've added a load of stories that were out this week and we're just gonna discuss. We've no timer really on it. We sort of do, but we don't really.
We'll time ourselves.
So stories, we're just gonna have it and we're gonna share our opinions. And if you hear laughing in the background, the new man on the show. If you hear a Culchi laugh in the background, that's just Sean in the background. Sean is going to be the new producer on obviously Fight Talk. We're getting fancy.
Yeah, we're getting very fancy. We have a producer. Big time producer.
So Sean's in the background. No Mike this week.
We should probably say what's give a definition for Culchi because our audience is mostly USA.
So Ireland consists of Dublin, and then outside of that is Culchis.
So country people.
Yes. People from outside of Dublin. Culchis. Yeah. Sean is a Cavan.
They could be from a city, but they're still Culchis.
Sean is from Cavan, so if you hear a laugh that sounds a little cheapskatish, that's definitely Sean. But let's move it on and let's talk about the big talking points of this week. So will Conor McGregor's next fight be a boxing match? Here we go. After attending Katie Taylor's victory over Cindy Serrano on Saturday night, McGregor was asked by Fight Hype whether he will be returning to boxing to fight Paulie Malignaggi or a rematch with Floyd Mayweather. He simply replied, both of them. Do you think he'll compete in boxing again, and will it be next?
Next, I don't think so. I wouldn't imagine that he'll go there next because imagine if he loses again. Like, imagine if he lost an MMA fight, lost a boxing fight to Floyd Mayweather. Fair enough, but whatever. You know, if casual fans are watching, you still lost the fight. Then he goes, loses to Khabib. Then goes to boxing and then likely loses unless he fights a can. I think
Paulie Malignaggi? Yeah. Great boxer in his
day, but still, you know, he is a boxer. So I don't think next, but I do think he's going to box again. I think it's a no-brainer. I heard just... There's a very small country, so people do talk. I did hear that his contract has boxing in it. Yeah. So...
Exclusive.
Is that exclusive?
Rob dropping exclusive.
Drop. Breaking news.
I was watching a load of videos backstage and talking to Katie Taylor after.
Yeah.
Very. His words were great. I thought. To Katie Taylor, excellent.
But if you need anything,
yeah,
give it to you.
I'll support 100%. Katie's dollar signs lighting up. Great stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I have to say it was when he was talking to her, she sort of said, "What's next for him?" And he said, you know, I have to sort it out with the Nevada State Commission and stuff like that." Like, so he did bring that up, but it sounded like he was talking more MMA. Let's be honest. I want to see. I know I heard that as well. That boxing is in his contract.
Well, of course it was. Why wouldn't it have been?
But McGregor's the type of person, and a lot of people were commenting on this. He was throwing American football at the Dallas Cowboys, and Bisbing was talking about it on Believe You Me.
Yeah.
So I really only start getting into it. It's absolutely
good,
brilliant.
isn't it?
He's going fucking Brendan Dorman needs to listen to it because he was given Schaub stick.
Was he?
Basically said he'd fight Schaub and batter him. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, deadly. They were giving the fighter and the kid stick to her. What was I saying? Yeah, so Conor is off. But Bisbing was sort of saying, Conor's walking around like he won that fight. You know what I mean? He's going on like he's won it, and in a couple of weeks, everybody will be thinking, yeah, McGregor won that fight. They'll forget that what actually happened, like the casuals. But deep, it is boring him. That's 100%. You seen what happened with Diaz? You can see like all the talk we were talking last week about Habib and Conor will be focused in and he'll want that rematch. And he, as you said, he has the proof of when he was beaten before. Give me a rematch and I'll fight and I'll get the victory.
We had
please just let it be MMA.
We had that. I fucking hope so. We had that discussion on the live chat this week. Because there has been a lot of people saying, Jesus, he looks a bit different after this when he seems happy. I think it's just because he's on the whiskey tour. Personally, he has to be. And Jason was talking about it and said, well, he doesn't really have to do that, but he probably kind of does. Like, if the people who he's working with right now, if he says, actually, I lost that fight, I'm not going to go on the whiskey tour, I feel very down. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? We booked all these appearances.
Plus, so, he done some good things. He turned up, I can't remember where the fire station was, but he turned up in the fire station with a bottle of whiskeys. Great,
selling them.
Great English.
Lads, 40 quid.
Turned up with bottles of whiskey.
Yeah.
And also World Series tickets for the firefighters.
Which tickets?
World Series. You know the...
don't know why. Immediately I thought of World Series of Fighting. That doesn't even exist anymore. PFL.
Baseball.
Fair enough.
But, well, clearly he's not going to fight Mayweather next because he's fighting Habib. So it depends if Malignaggi's in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's getting shape. Where's that sparring video? That's coming out soon, isn't it?
There's a Netflix documentary. John Kavanagh was talking about it on... what's the name of the show again?
Rogan.
Joe Rogan...
It's an experience anyway.
It'll come to me. I'll look into it. He was saying that, there was a Netflix documentary and all the footage. Now, they're not... As much as Netflix documentary, they're not going to show all the footage. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to show 12 rounds of boxing.
12 rounds of boxing,
there you go. It's a documentary. It's not a fight. Yeah, we
put no work into this.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there.
Turn up, fucking get it out, iPhone out and film the fight. It's a documentary. It's Rocky. Look, the camera shakes. It's a documentary.
Yeah.
But yeah, please just let it be MMA.
Let it be.
Luke Rockhold has been forced out of UFC 230 bout with Chris Weidman due to multiple injuries. Weidman is set to remain on the card and instead will fight Jacare, who was scheduled to fight David Branch. Got a feel for Branch there on the same card. Weidman wished, that was hard to say, Weidman wished Rockhold a speedy recovery and said he bears no ill will towards Rockhold.
That's a little bit disappointing. Because who was Jacare supposed to fight on that card? Fact check that.
I would if Tapology was working on my
working for you. I'll fact check it when you're talking. It's a little bit disappointing. It's a really good fight. There was a few people actually calling for Adesanya to be bumped up against Chris Weidman. I thought that was a bit too soon, personally. I'm not saying he couldn't beat him because Weidman seems to be a little bit on the downslope, so he probably could. But I still think that you need to bring Adesanya on a little bit slower than that. But Jacare, Weidman, it's a good fight. It's just somebody has lost out on a fight. David Branch? David Branch.
It is David Branch, but I think they've also put the L moving object. I think they've put David Branch in against somebody else.
So somebody else got effed over.
This is great that we know this.
Yeah. When our producer is in his full-time job, he'll be able to fact check these things for us.
What you're saying about Israel Adesanya, though, like, I think that's a more dangerous fight for Weidman to take than Adesanya. Because
this fight, Jacare?
No, as in
Adesanya was a worse fight.
It's for Weidman because he's nothing to gain from it.
Oh yeah.
While it would be everything for him. Do you know
what I mean? He could still. Yeah, if he beats Jacare, like a win over Jacare and win over Rockhold is similar, like in terms of where it'll leave him in the division. So, it's a good fight for Weidman, and if it goes to the floor, it could be fun.
Yeah, I'd like me. I'm Team Weidman.
Yeah, Team Weidman,
big time
fanboy.
Yeah,
somebody missed out. But
hey, Kirk, where's my Tim Weidman glove?
What's your thoughts on another AKA guy dropping injury? Now it seems like recently they've kind of fixed that, but they do have a reputation, these AKA guys.
Miles Price over there, the fucking rat. Fucking injuring Rockhold. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Miles Price is a rat.
Undercover agent.
Fuck's sake. It's weird, isn't it? The amount of injuries they do get, like, and come out of it. Yeah, obviously. Go hard, train, spar, whatever, go heavy. But I think Weidman, though, was... Rockhold was sort of elsewhere as well, though, wasn't he?
He was actually. Is he in AKA right now?
Well, he was there because he was in
cornering,
corner and stuff.
But he was
like
training with Volkan for a while. Remember
that.
for Volkan's
So
camp.
he was down with not the Black Zillions. What's his fucking name?
Yeah, Henry Hooft.
Yeah,
so
Henry Hooft.
Kind of Black Zillions. It's kind of doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's a good fight, but you know that card is cursed. That card has lost so many fights, so many reshuffles. So to be honest, I'm not even confident that the card's going to look like this. I'm not confident this fight is going to happen because of what's happening with this card. But that is a good fight. It's just unfortunate they had to bump somebody off the card.
What date is UFC 230? Is that?
I'll find that out now.
Yeah, do that. We'll like fill airtime. But no, I think it is a good fight. You know, you obviously Weidman.
November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez, yeah, I won't be watching that card.
What is that?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wedding anniversary. I'm out.
You should be happy.
No, I am happy, but like I'll have to DVR that.
Just DVR the anniversary.
Yeah, DVR. Boop. Yeah, boop. Kevin Bridges over. Come on, we just go home. You look tired. If you know anything is certain about MMA, it's uncertainty. Oh, Rob, he's such a writer. 2-division champion Daniel Cormier defends his heavyweight title against Derek Lewis at UFC 230. That cursed card, and then plans to defend it against Brock Lesnar in 2019. He will be stripped of his light heavyweight for Jones' return against Gustafsson due to his inactivity in the division, but says things might change if he loses to Lewis. Quote, "If I lose to Derek, then who is to say I don't go? Hey, I'm gonna defend my light heavyweight title. Now you can't take it." Does the UFC still strip Cormier if he plans to defend the title?
It's a weird one, isn't it?
It's a dirty one.
It's a dirty one.
Because he was only talking about he only took the Derek Lewis fight because he doesn't really see him as a threat.
Yeah.
So you can't.
But he's gonna. But they told him he was gonna be stripped of the title beforehand.
Yeah.
Once they announced Jones' return.
Yeah, but it's not like you can't order. Sean, get the analogy alert going. Sean said he wants to bring in an analogy alert.
Oh, brilliant!
Says something.
Not this week because
so
we don't have it. But
you
we'll
can't order 2 takeaways and just pick the first one that comes along. Do you know what I mean? Delivery men arrive and you pay for your Chinese, and 2 minutes later, pizza arrives and you go, "Oh, I don't want it, mate." You gotta go. You gotta pick one or the other.
That wasn't a great analogy.
It's not a great analogy.
That wasn't.
I'm just saying he can't say, "Yeah, I took a short notice fight. I lost that. I'll defend me light heavyweight." Do you know what I mean?
Also, you mean it's dirty on Cormier's
end?
Yeah,
I think it is dirty on Cormier's end.
Why?
Because as soon as he steps in for the heavyweight title, like every other 2-division champion, he should be stripped of his original title.
No.
Yes. Conor was stripped of his featherweight title.
Yeah, but he's been fighting like a year.
And? DC
I disagree.
But DC wins his heavyweight title. He said he's only fighting 2 more times, and the next fight is lined up against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but he said that'll change if he loses the title.
But you can't be doing that.
Why can't you?
It's like ordering 2 takeaways.
No, that's terrible analogy.
And then your Chinese arrives and you tell the pizzeria to go fuck himself.
Anyway, I don't think it's dirty. I think he has a few fights left. So why wouldn't he try to defend his title? If he loses that one, he still wants a big money fight. Them fights are still on the horizon for him. He can still do it.
But I'd say the offer's given to him. You either defend one or the other, and he's chosen heavyweight, so you can't have your cake and eat it.
You're projecting that now.
No, you can't have your cake
and eat it. You're assuming.
You're presuming the opposite.
Yeah, we're just presuming here, aren't we? This is no. It's a weird. No, to be honest, it is a weird one for the UFC because it's gonna happen, isn't it? He's gonna lose. It's just lined up for that to happen, and then for him to say, "Actually, no, don't strip me," and then John Jones and him to get into a back. It's gonna happen.
What do you think about the mindset though that he's thinking like that? If I lose, what's that tell you?
I don't.
Considering a week ago he was saying, "I'm only taking this. I wouldn't take this against Stipe because Derek Lewis or whatever."
I don't read much into it because he was asked that a few times. Like he was asked, in the case that you lose, so that was a direct question to him. So he's kind of just answering, "Well, in this hypothetical situation, I'd do this." It wasn't like he brought it up.
We were talking about it there walking up. Well, we were either walking to or from work. Yeah. And we were saying, I think Derek Lewis beats him.
I know. It's just one of those
circumstances,
isn't it?
It's just
circumstances. Like, as we said in MMA, it's just a crazy sport. So everything that you think is going to happen, it doesn't happen. So, for the most part. So, like, it's just one of them fights where, like, you're like, he's not going to win that fight, and then he comes out and knocks him out. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I was watching the media scrum with Derek Lewis. Did you watch that?
I did, yeah.
And I felt the journalist, apart from Morgan, who's an absolute professional, just with like constant questions. He did start about balls hot, fair enough. But obviously, whoever was going to.
Who doesn't start with balls hot?
But I thought a lot of the questions aimed at him were real comedy questions. Do you know what I mean? They weren't taking them serious.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you were like the clown in this division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And like, one guy actually asked him about, you know, when you said about Donald Trump, you know, he said, well, back in Houston when I was golfing with him, you know, we said whatever, and he man went, were you really talking to Donald Trump? And he was like, no. He said, look, you guys just asked me all the same shit questions, and I just decided I'm just going to start answering the same way. But I felt they were treating him like the clown, you know, poke him and make us laugh.
I wonder if he feels
Still exceptionally funny, though.
Yeah, no, he is. But I wonder if he feels that, like, he's coming into this as the huge underdog who's only getting the shot because he did win that fight. And to be fair, like, if you look at
3-fight win streaks, which is a big win streak in the heavyweight division.
And to be fair to Daniel Cormier, he said, in what world does he not deserve a title fight?
Yeah.
You can argue whether he deserves it immediately after he just won that fight, and after he said, I've no cardio, I'm not getting a title fight anytime soon
and
because of
he
that.
was saying in the thing he only does 35 minutes in the gym, and 5 minutes of that is putting gifs up on Instagram. You know what I mean?
He's probably lying about that as well.
Probably.
Like, it's probably a joke, but still.
Yeah,
you know,
his back's in a hoop.
He definitely deserves a title fight, like,
weird.
on record.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think, like...
Not over Stipe.
I was saying, you know, Conor McGregor shit, whatever, but, like, I do think if you're signing and you haven't... If Cormier has it in the background that, yeah, I'll fight the winner of Gustafsson Lesnar next. If that's what he's saying, yes, don't strip him. But if he's signing an agreement to say, I'm fighting Brock Lesnar next, yes, he should be stripped. Because that means he's not going to be active in the light heavyweight division for a set period of time.
Yeah.
And it delays...
No. The reason why he's being stripped, according to Ding, is because of his inactivity. But if he says, actually, I just lost to this, and in that case, technically he loses the Brock Lesnar fight because the whole point is because it's supposed to be for the title, which is actually insane when you think about it. So if he loses that fight, then he says, okay, I'm not getting that, so I'm going to fight somebody else. Why shouldn't he be able to defend his title?
Well, because he's...
in the same time frame.
He's technically stripped because the UFC have already announced
Not until they
Gustafsson
throw
Jones.
a punch. Me and Sean were talking about this. Not until they throw a punch.
Well, knowing John Jones, he'll do it the way in, so...
Very good.
The Strub Animal, James Gallagher, makes his return to the cage. He's taking on William Hamill in a charity white-collar boxing bout on December the 1st, the Cage Legacy 10 in Dublin. Good. Obviously, James is... somebody spelled it phonetically for us. I kept calling them bandages.
Bandages?
Bandages or whatever it was that Sweet Chin Music, James, and finished them. Incredible.
Sweet Chin Music.
But it was a Sweet Chin Music. It was a lovely finish, in fairness.
It was.
To him. But James getting back in there. Yes, it's only a white collar bout, and you know it'll be a bit of fun, I'd imagine. But James Gallagher is back fighting in Dublin.
Weird one, isn't it? Like, it's fair play to him. It's a charity match. But there's not a whole lot that can be said about it. Like, fair play to him. It's a charity match. Cool. And people get to see him. Like, he has a lot of fans over here. People get to see him.
This is the thing, is that a lot of people think... you know, James is this whatever. Like, you know what I mean? He's a Conor McGregor. He impersonates Conor McGregor, does all this. But this is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's charity, and it's going to Stillbert and National Death Association of Ireland is what the fund's going to it. So it is a good news story. So well done to James and stepping back in there, and it'll be good to get him back in there. And this guy will be calling the fights.
Will you?
I will indeed.
Great stuff.
But yeah, good to have him back. Now, you've given me an absolute whirlwind of stuff. I think you wanted to display this on the screen, didn't you? And you made
this is a peek behind the curtains. This
is the PFL thing. It's not going on the screen, isn't it?
No, it is. Yeah, it will go on the screen.
Alright, so 2018 PFL finals are set for December the 31st. PFL 10 went down last Saturday and set up the $1 million finals. They are as followed. This is where Rob then shows it.
Well, I'm not showing it. We have a producer now. He's showing it right now. You can't see it.
Look,
it's on the screen.
So it's like we're in the cube now.
What?
You know when you're on the cube and they go, you've won 20,000, and it appears above the cube and it's not really there. And they all look up and go,
What are you talking about?
You ever see the cube on ITV?
No, I don't watch television.
So featherweight is Stephen Seiler and Lance Palmer. Lightweight is Nathan Schultz and Rashid Magomedov. Welterweight is Ray Cooper the third, not the first, not the second, the third, against Magomedov Karamov. That was all right. Jeez, all the Magomeds. Middleweight is Abus Magomedov. Great. Get us a dolly. It's Lewis Taylor. Light heavyweight is Vinny Maglis taking on Sean O'Connell. Heavyweight is Philip Lyons and Josh Cope.
Nice.
2,000 is the prize money for the runners up. So this is a decent payday.
Jesus
for
Christ,
fighters,
it's a huge payday. Like the thing I wanted to talk about more so is the finals. There's some great fights there. Ray Cooper the third. If you've watched him,
not the first,
not the first, not the second. He's had some serious performances in that tournament. And he's coming up against a really good grappler, so that's an interesting one. But like, if you look at the likes of, say, Steven Seiler, who's in there, Steven Seiler is competing for $1 million.
Yeah,
he was in the UFC.
Yeah.
He couldn't even think of getting that amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, PFL, how sustainable is that?
That's the thing, isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
like you look at other shows comparable is ACB. Apparently ACB are paying their fighters very well, and
Yeah.
they've cancelled a heap of shows.
Yeah.
So it's great to throw money at the talent.
back in the day.
Yeah, but it's great to throw money at the talent to get them there. But how sustainable is that? Are they paying within their means? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: is that from what I've read, apparently it's a real like proper advertisement model.
Yeah.
You know, because the way they're doing it is almost like Premier League or not real sports, like traditional sports. So they have all these events non-pay-per-view. It's all on NBC or whatever.
Yeah.
So they want sponsorships to jump on board and have like a consistent sponsorship in all those weeks, and they can what they said is they can tell a story with their advertising or something like that. Something silly, but advertisers love that. So like it seems like it's mostly built on advertisement on NBC. I don't know, but it still seems like a lot of money. There's some big backers. Jimmy Iovine is a backer. If you've watched, what's the show on Netflix? Help me out here. The documentary. Come on, help me out. You can do it.
You're talking about the one with Dr. Dre?
Yeah. He's basically, him and Dr. Dre created
Watched
Beats. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's excellent, isn't it? The Defiant ones.
The Defiant ones, Rob, it's called.
The Defiant ones. So he's a huge personality in, he's a record producer, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is involved. He has a stake in it.
Hasn't had a good stand-up show before.
Kevin Hart, he hasn't, has he? No. But like, if you have all these really
awful movies he's made.
Yeah, terrible moves. I was gonna say they have all
Kevin
these
Hart's
smart people, and they're insulting this guy.
Kevin Hart's in a movie.
He doesn't make great moves.
Not watching it.
Yeah. Maybe it's gonna get worse then because Kevin Hart made a move on it. No, but like if you have all these people who are pretty smart with their investments, it seems like investing in this thing. Maybe they have some kind of model that is sustainable. I don't know.
It'll be bust by PFL 12. No, it is good, and it's good that fighters are getting paid.
The thing is,
like
as well,
there's what six fights so that's 6 million, and it's 7.2 million.
Yeah,
payout.
The thing is, though, here's an interesting one for you. If this is sustainable and it gets to season 2, how many fighters are gonna say, "Hey,
yeah, I'm going over
there," because fighters are
Steven Seiler just won $1 million bucks.
Yeah, like fighters are inherently delusional. And that's in a good way. Like they have to be to
brave man with no fighters around.
No, they're inherently delusional. They come out and they say, "I'm going to beat that guy in a fist fight." That's it doesn't matter who they are. They like constantly bet on themselves. So how many fighters like Rory McDonald who like, I'll go up in a fight Gegard Mousasi at middleweight. Why not? I'll defend me title in all these welterweight tournament things. Doesn't matter. I'll defend it in all of them. Like they want to bet on themselves. So if they say, "Hey, I can win $1 million by going here and beating some guys," and apparently they get paid for the fights as well, like pretty good money. So
they're they're 200k if you lose. You're guaranteed 200 grand.
Yeah, but they actually get paid for the fight as well.
They probably get like 5 and 5.
No. I think Jake Shields fought recently and he made like 100,000.
Fuck off, Jake Shields. Can't even throw.
He got knocked out.
Did you ever see the gif or the picture
of
the whole press conference? And picks up and goes,
it's like Conor's throw at the football game. Remember that?
Remind me, pick my glasses case up when we're going with it. Brian Ortega even says he'll be fighting for the UFC featherweight title at UFC 231, whether Holloway shows up or not.
Dum, dum, dum.
He said at a recent media scrum that the UFC has a backup plan in case another unfortunate incident happens to Max Holloway before the fight. Who would be an ideal replacement for Holloway if he falls out?
Don't know why we are saying that real weird and like, I don't know. Pick up our glasses, please. I don't know. Like I was talking about this with Sean before the show started, and we were talking about Frankie Edgar would be a good replacement, but Frankie Edgar's matched with Korean Zombie. The best one, I think, in terms of a matchup,
Artem Lobov,
if he wins this weekend. The best one in terms of a matchup, I think, is Moicano.
Yes.
Because they fought before. Moicano was winning the fight. Ortega came back and won it. But this is the main event.
Yeah.
They're not going to have Brian Ortega versus Moicano as the main event of UFC 221, are they?
45. Who else would make 45? Short notice. I wonder who the backup plan is. It's interesting.
The only thing is it says short notice, but he said they're going to have a backup plan. So you'd imagine they have someone who's going to weigh in and, you know, it's not like they're going to call him up that week and say, oh, you're our backup plan, but we didn't tell you. Are you on weight? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm Googling.
I'm sure they can hear it.
Yeah. Featherweight rankings. That's old man typing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Go for yourself, Rob. No, it is. It's like, he beat fucking mostly. Like, he's up there for legit. I thought he's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's horrible thinking about it. Jose Aldo's not getting it.
No. Jose Aldo's moving up to 55, right?
Chad Mendes ain't getting it. It is really
Moicano.
not Moicano. It is Moicano.
But what's the other fights on that card? Is there anything that could main event over that?
Will you stop asking me questions?
Is that the thing fight, isn't it? The flyweight fight. Valentina and that's 231, isn't it? This is a mess.
Yeah, because you're asking me, to be let it know, when I normally have loads of stuff on.
It is Valentina Shevchenko and Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah,
that could main event if needed, but yeah.
But
Let's hope that Holloway makes it. Hopefully he's okay.
Number one, he makes it out of health reasons.
Well, number one, he's okay.
Like, in fairness, Brian Ortega took that fall out like an absolute champ.
Yeah.
By not, you know what I mean? A lot of people might have, you know, I know short notice fights were offered him. He's like, no, look, we'll go again. We'll roll again.
Fair play to him, yeah.
Cool guy, Ortega. John Anik signs a 4-year contract extension with the UFC.
Yeah.
Forever in blue jeans. Stays. What do you think? Happy enough with that?
Yeah. I think he's the best play-by-play that the UFC have.
Is he the best in the business? See, it depends on your style, isn't it?
Mauro Ronaldo's the best.
You think?
In the business. Yeah, I think so.
Mamma mia!
Yeah, I like Mauro Ronaldo. But he is a little bit different. He's not like... Anik is that real straight-laced guy, and Mauro's like...
John Anik will tell you when The Walking Dead is on, and at the same time tell you that this round, our stop clock, was brought to you by... He's perfect at that. Yeah,
he's great at that, and I'm sure they love him for that. But Mauro's more of the you know, wild kind of guy.
I'd nearly say that
I like him.
Mauro is like an old-fashioned MMA commentator. While Anik is the, you know, he comes from like... You know, a real clean-cut style way. You
real
know what
sporting background, yeah.
Like I like John Anik.
Like
he used to drive me mad with his jeans. His jeans used to drive me mad. They were just so well pressed. He used to irritate me. Look at him in his fucking jeans.
Yeah.
Not a crease to be seen. Like,
no.
Great stuff. But he is. And I like he sets up his... Like, I think if you put Mauro in the booth with, like, DC and Rogan, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. It'd be a bit too mad, wouldn't it?
It'd be just like the fucking... Two stooges, many stooges at her. Do you know what I mean?
Three.
Yeah, it'd be just Lar, Mo, and what's the other one?
I don't know.
Comment below. But there would be just too much madness. You know what I mean? Well, I think Anik levels the playing field.
Yeah.
Mike Goldberg is in the twilight of his years of commentary. This is according to Brian Campbell, who was on last week's MMA Beat. Discuss.
Discuss.
You were never a Goldberg fan. You always said he was shy.
I never said he was shy.
Go back to episode 31.
I said he was terrible. No, I liked Mike Goldberg.
Yeah.
But he, you know, he's of his time. If you're still watching, like I was watching Bellator Kickboxing and he done commentary on that, and it sounded weird on kickbox. Like in MMA, it makes sense. But in kickboxing, it sounded weird. Like just hearing him doing commentary. But like he was grand. Like, but like Anik's better.
But do you think Brian Campbell is right that Goldberg has done his best work and he's just taking the paycheck now?
Well, no, I still think he's doing, you know, he's still doing as well as he was doing. But like, I think his best work is behind him because I think he just commentated on the biggest fights he could back then.
But he was only commentating on Rory and Gegard there the other day.
I know. I don't know.
It's
a weird question.
On Fedor Emelianenko the other day.
Yeah, it's a weird question. I don't know. What do you think? You seem very passionate about this.
It's brutal. No, I love Goldie. But you see, I think Goldie for me plays on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like for me, he's the voice of MMA in some ways.
Some ways, yeah.
Like you look at,
Oh, he does.
When you think about it, right? When you still look at UFC promotional work,
He's still there.
a lot of it is
Yeah.
Goldie and not Anik.
Yeah,
Very little of it, in fact, is Anik.
yeah.
Um,
It's mostly Rogan and
yeah,
Goldie,
and like
yeah.
did just like that, and you know what I mean. All this, here we go. You know what I mean? It's corn nuts. You know what I mean? It's all,
Yeah.
and it is
he's
nostalgia.
he's like a Woody doll. He just like pull the
Yeah.
string. And
There's a snake in my
yeah, and he
boot.
just says a little catchphrase. It's great. It's fun.
No, but I do think it's nostalgia, but I still think Goldie brings it. Also compared Jimmy Smith to a poor man's Joe Rogan.
Really?
Brian Campbell, yeah. And Luke
Brian
Thomas
Campbell.
defended. So no,
Jimmy
they're,
Smith.
they're completely
They
different.
are. They're very, very different
They have a different
commentators.
way in their narrative of how they talk about things.
Very, very different.
Joe tends to go on a little bit.
Yeah,
But Jimmy
is to the
precise,
point, comes
and
in with
there's
his facts.
serious
Bam.
amount of facts and homework.
Yeah.
And
Very, very different commentators. I don't get that. They have both have bald heads.
Ronda Rousey has said that Conor McGregor gets special treatment. Discuss.
What's that to be said?
It looks like
This
Alanis
is-
Morissette is bringing out part 2 of Ironic.
Ronda Rousey, Conor does get special treatment. That's
Yes.
100%, and
Yes.
it's ridiculous at times. But Ronda Rousey,
Didn't do any media
zero media.
for when Amanda Nunes beat her.
Yeah.
For that fight, she literally done no
Zero.
media. Walked around
done,
like
I
a
think,
fucking
one-
teenager.
She
in a
done
huff.
one interview, right? Like on Ellen or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
On Ellen.
Yeah.
Come on.
Degenerates.
Imagine Ellen sat down and was like, "So that head kicking against Holly Holm, how did you feel after
Imagine Ellen did do
that?"
that.
Imagine that, yeah,
She
cut
was
her off
like,
guard.
you know, your head movement wasn't great, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Edmund
yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to tell you. You weren't listening. Head movement! You know what I mean? Everybody could hear it, except you. You know,
Yeah.
what happened, Ronda?
Why weren't you moving your head?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny, Ronda. That'll be like in like 2 or 3 years' time. Conor McGregor
Yeah,
said someone's
exactly.
getting
Yeah,
special
yeah.
treatment.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
She
getting
was
special
the big
treatment.
star at the time, Ronda Rousey.
But they should get special treatment. They're the big stars. They sell the tickets, but to a certain extent. You know, if you throw a dolly through a window, you know, you should be dealt with. If you jump out of a cage and attack a guy in the thing, you should be dealt with. If you refuse to do media completely, there should be something done. But like, yeah, they should get, you know, an extra bath towel in there. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
An extra bad
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Ah, that's the special treatment. An
Yeah.
extra pair of
Yeah.
UFC slippers or
Get a
something.
transport paid for.
Yeah. Joe Duffy
I don't
versus
know.
Ross Pearson is in the works for UFC Adelaide on December the 2nd.
It's a bit of a scrap, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? An Irishman and an Englishman fighting in Australia.
Why is that weird?
Would you not have brought
Happens
a
every
little,
night
No, but would
in
you
Australia,
not,
I'm
would
sure.
you- it probably does. would you not have brought it a little closer to home?
Yeah, maybe. But the UFC are trying to
Talking about Twilight
build cards.
of your career, Ross Pearson,
Yeah.
he could be a vampire at this stage, couldn't he? Twilight reference there.
Yeah. I like that's very good.
Thanks.
I like Ross Pearson. He's a good fighter.
I like
but
Ross
a
Pearson,
lot
yeah.
of people have figured out his style, it seems. And it seems like if they fight the way Ross Pearson doesn't like people fighting against him, they can get wins. And I'd imagine
Good
Joe
fight
Duffy
for
has
Joe
figured it
Duffy?
out. I think so, yeah. I think it's kind of a showcase fight for Duffy. You never know. Ross
First
Pearson
time
could
in
come
there
and catch him.
since James Vick in almost a year.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
over a year by the time it happens. It was
crazy.
November
Has he been injured? He has been
2017.
injured,
I think
hasn't he?
He has been injured.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him come back. He hasn't really made it to the level that a lot of people thought he would have in the UFC, has he?
Yeah, see, I think they done the whole, didn't they? When they brought him in first, it was like, remember that movie? Yeah, was it
They
the
wouldn't
White,
shut up
the
about
Great White
him.
Hope? Was it?
Yeah.
Where that was the last man to beat the boxer. Where it was
Yeah.
real, the last man to beat Conor McGregor, and like, you know, Joe Duffy has had a better career than just the guy who beat Conor
Yeah.
McGregor. So yeah, but he failed, like, 2-fight win streak, and then he lost to Dustin Poirier. No harm in that.
No shame.
Then went on 2-fight win streak again and lost to James Vick. And James Vick was looking fantastic up until his last fight where he got outfought, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good fight for Joe Duffy. Good to see him in there. Australia, a weird one, but I suppose when you think about it, like you just said,
Yeah.
comically, Rob, maybe that happens every night in Australia. But
Such a
there
violent
are
sport.
a lot of English and Irish in Australia, so
Yeah.
it could, you know, in theory work that way. But, you know, it would have been nice to see. I'd like to see Joe Duffy get the headline here in Dublin. That fell through originally.
Yeah,
Dustin
that was
Poirier
yeah,
meant to
that was unfortunate.
happen in the 3 arena.
When are they ever going to come back to Dublin though?
It's bottom of the list, isn't it?
Ah, fucking yeah. They don't care about us anymore.
There's not the venue. You see, they've got us.
I know, yeah.
They have us
Hook,
now.
line, and
the
sinker.
UFC will be back here if Conor has another fight in Ireland, or if and when Conor retires.
Do you think that's possible?
And the need to reel us back in again.
Yeah. Do you think that's possible?
Conor fighting in Ireland again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, because I think
The sport's going to be banned soon.
I think Conor, if Joe Brolly has his way. But I think if Conor demanded it, yeah, I think that. And especially, like, if Conor will always have pulling power with the UFC.
Yeah.
But let's say what we were talking about last week, the Khabib rematch happens again. Let's say same result comes, right?
Yeah.
And Conor loses to Khabib. He'll be on a 2-fight skid in the UFC. And I could see him then going, look, let's bring him back to Dublin. And I could see them getting somebody in the top 15 or something that'll be a good fight for Conor, sticking him in front of the Irish crowd.
Yeah.
And, you know, Conor to have a good night in Dublin. No, I don't think Conor would want an easy fight.
No.
But I think if Conor, I mean, the pull Conor has, I think he could get them back in Dublin.
Yeah.
Like, what? The
Depends where.
Three Arena or whatever it'll be called then.
11,000 seat arena, something like that.
Yeah. So with the cage though, is it that?
It's something like that, yeah. It is quite small though.
Because he was talking about the Aviva and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but them fucking neighbours, you won't get that in the Aviva and the Arden Crow
Or
Park.
Crow Park either.
Only fuckers. Imagine living beside the stadium and giving out because there's something not going on in the stadium.
Yeah. It does get quite loud though.
Fuck him. You move beside the stadium. I can understand
Yeah.
Bernie, who's living there since 1942.
Yeah.
But not Mick and Mary, who moved in 96.
You knew what you
know
were
I mean?
getting into.
What's that big thing there?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter, boy, the gaff anyway.
Nothing happens in there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a completely different matter. Now,
It was an ecumenical matter. What's the word?
that's an economical matter.
That's not economical.
No, I know what it
It's
is.
the priesthood thing.
In the most MMA-est of MMA stories, Chris Cyborg says she wants to train the Catch Me Outside girl, Danielle Bergiglio.
Catch
How
me
about
outside.
that?
Very good.
It is very MMA-ish, isn't it?
We're not going to talk about this
why
very
did this
much.
come across? What happened
It
there?
was MMA fighting had it up, so I just thought it was very funny.
But why is she just wants
They're
to
just
take
mates.
under the win?
They're mates.
Because she was mates with Nick Diaz as well.
Catch me outside.
Yes, there was loads of pictures of her with Nick and Nate.
Seemed like a good pair. It'd be very funny though, wouldn't it? I wouldn't want to see it. Like, it was just weird because that was like MMA fighting's. What's that? The morning report.
Yeah,
It's like the main story of the morning report.
Well, I think she
Cash me outside equals ratings. She's a rapper as well, isn't she?
haven't got the album.
Okay.
Might download it.
I'll wait for your review next week.
Wait on the review, but haven't got the album. I have to say.
Yeah.
But I don't like. Why is she in trouble? Like, is she
I
thinking
know.
about getting into MMA?
I know. I don't even think it's.
What is the narrative
I don't
of
think
this
there's any-
tale?
What I read was that Chris Cyborg wants a trainer because they're friends now. But she said that the reason why she wants a trainer is because she likes street fights. That's it. That's the story.
How about that? Just looking here, I'm on MMA News now, just for the laugh, and MMA NYTT.
Yeah.
The headline says Dana White admits he was the only person truly upset about the post-fight brawl at UFC 229. Dana.
Dana.
You gotta love Uncle Dana, haven't you? But like, that's absurd that he's saying that.
Yeah.
I think the most upset person that night after the fight was me, White said, while speaking to ESPN. There's been zero response. Actually, the response is people agreed with Khabib and thought Khabib should have done it. But for me personally, all the work I put into this for the last 20 years of my life, I didn't want to see it go down like
Dana's
that.
living in his own little world, isn't
I
he?
was upset about it. I was the only one. The rest of the world could care less. Dana hasn't been reading Joe Brolly.
No, Dana's missed out on Joe Brolly's wonderful pieces.
For me, it was our biggest moment. The most people watching ever. This is not who we are, and it's not even who Khabib is, White explained.
Yeah.
He said it many times after the fight. He went crazy after the fight, and it happens sometimes. This is the fight business. I was the most upset guy on the planet after that fight. Nobody else cared.
Dana didn't even look upset. Like, see, like Dana was like, "You're not getting your belt." And then after the thing, when he done his interview, he was like, basically shit happens.
Last quote. It's a big deal, White said. We're a professional sport. These are professional athletes. We're in the state of Nevada, the fight capital of the world. We're representing T-Mobile, the MGM, and the sport as a whole. It was a big deal. We contained it and everything went fine and ended up well. Nobody cared but me, but it was a big deal. Right. I like that little bit that he said, that we are a professional organization or whatever. But Dana, don't fucking lie. You were thinking, oh my God, I have my next promo video.
Yeah, I agree. That's it. Did you see that? One more thing before we move on for Dan. No, he said that he thinks Ferguson and Khabib should be next if he was a fight fan.
If he was a fight fan,
from his fight fan perspective.
See, I wonder how much Dana White still has a say in.
He definitely has a say in matchmaking.
Yeah, do you think he still has that much of a pull?
Yeah, I'm sure he still has a.
Well, you were talking about last week about 2.5
for the
million
most part.
boys and all.
Yeah, no, for the most part, yeah, he 100% would. But like, yeah, for the big decisions, probably he has somebody that can, give him the L. No, we'll go off Dana. We're gonna do our own thing.
Still miss little Joe Silva getting just shaking everyone's hand.
Yeah.
Just
did you ever see his Man Cave?
Hello.
It's on YouTube.
No.
Check it out. Catch me outside.
I'll look into it. But yeah, Dana, he was the only one upset by it. Send him a link there on Twitter.
To Joe Brolly.
To Joe Brolly's.
Someone's joining you.
Yeah.
They're so upset they want to ban the sport.
Joe Brolly wrote another article this week, Rob. Not going to go into much detail,
Okay.
but he basically... It was something you said about Jim Jeffries, Rob. I'm going to rob your point.
Okay.
And Jim Jeffries was talking about, PC and all this. He says, like, if you read my jokes, they don't make good reading.
Yeah.
But it's the context of the joke and how it's built up in the story and stuff like that. And it is. Like, if you actually read a Jim Jeffries joke from
it's terrible.
Point A to point B, his uncle masturbating over him.
Yeah.
It's horrendous read, like.
Yeah.
But it's in the scene and
graphic.
Stuff. But Joe Brolly's latest article that he said he's getting together with some TDs and he's going to try and get the sport banned. So that's really MMA on its knees in Ireland now because a GAA pundit is on board. Yeah. Sean, you're a cool G. What do we think of how big is a swing in MMA for Joe Brolly to get it banned?
Brolly's a bit like the aim and Dunphy of the GAA world. Say again? Brolly's a bit like the aim and Dunphy of the GAA world. He sort of says controversial stuff just to make a few headlines, and he's down in the corner of the game.
He's a waffler.
Yeah.
There's Sean.
Yeah. See, the thing is, completely agree. Completely agree. The thing is that you said as well on the way in today. It's like Joe Brolly's not going to be the guy who gets MMA banned.
He's the straw that broke the camel's
all these
back.
Politicians who are against MMA were already against it before he wrote this article, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference.
The Minister of Sport is against it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Minister of Sport...
That's not great.
And transport.
Yeah. That's weird, isn't it? That's not a great start if the Minister for Sport is against it. So
yeah, we're sort of being light-hearted in it.
No, but it still is important.
Yeah, it is. But what he done was, that's what I was saying about reading Jim Jeffrey jokes. He got previous tweets of John Kavanagh.
Yeah.
And put them in his article to fit his narrative.
Exactly.
And it was a couple of tweets about Floyd Mayweather saying, you should stick to beating women because Floyd Mayweather obviously has charges against assaulting his ex-wife. And then Dylan Dennis's tweet to RDA about fuck the commission, let's go and fight. He's talking about respect.
And Kavanagh's thing about picking the right god for MMA.
Jeez loves knockouts, but that's a gag. That's a
No, but it was the one like
about if
you want to be a fighter,
choose your
which is like.
But again, that depends what side you read. It was one thing I noticed in our video about Khabib and Conor and all that, and when we spoke with Miles Price, was a lot of the listeners and people that were commenting underneath were of Muslim faith, and they were saying, what was being said was incredibly offensive to us. Yeah, and like it's when you're outside of it, and you mightn't. You don't have a dog in that race.
Exactly, it doesn't seem
you don't
as bad.
being offended by it because you think it's just it's a cast off. But I suppose if that's your belief and that's what you believe in, it is offensive.
Yeah, so it's bringing it down to even like a lower level. Like it's like obviously a lot of people will take their religion quite serious. I'm not a religious person, but a lot of people would. But even taking it down to a lower level, how many times have you been saying a fight with somebody when you were young or when you were a kid, and you said something to them, and you're like, that was nothing, but they took serious offense to it and they were really upset by it. Like that does happen. And you don't you honestly don't know why they're so upset. You're like, I don't know what happened. Like, we had a fight, whatever, and you said something, or say they said something to you.
Off your chest here, Rob.
No, but
have you fallen out with a young friend or something?
It's a long story.
It's getting emotional.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them things. Like, you don't really know until you kind of step back from the situation and you look at it. But
I love the comedian Stephen Hughes. You know Stephen?
Oh
Hughes?
I haven't watched him very much.
He talks about being offended. Nothing happens when you're offended. You're offended, and nothing happens to you. It's like what offends you will not offend another, and
Yes,
Don't be offended. But anyway, let's look ahead to
let's do
UFC
this.
Fight Night 138. Get ready for Rob's 2 weeks analysis and
Nah,
breakdown.
we're gonna go short on this.
Yeah, we're gonna go short. Apologies, it is a short show this week, but hey, nothing happened.
Big things happening soon.
Yeah, big things.
We're
happening
planning.
soon. What do you think? Sean's being brought in?
Exactly.
As the producer?
Yeah.
Big things are happening.
We're gonna get.
They got the internet in Cavan, so we're trying to get that Cavan audience in.
Yeah. We're gonna get a new, almost a new little setup. We're gonna get a little camera for Sean. Give him a little mic. Drop him in the odd time. Maybe we can ask.
So I don't have to pick up this mic and lean over to him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was a bit awkward.
Yeah, look, he was talking. I didn't want him to be faded off in the background. People, I couldn't hear what he was saying. UFC Fight Night 138. Volkan Oezdemir takes on Anthony Smith, going down this weekend. The weirdest name town ever. Moncton. It doesn't read as a spelled. But anyway, Volkan Oezdemir taking on Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, this is a big opportunity for Anthony Smith.
It is. Smith, since he's come to light heavyweight, he's looked great. But then when you actually look at who he's fought, Rashad Evans and Shogun, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So 2 guys who are clearly aging. I think Rashad Evans is even in a worse situation. Rashad Evans is retired now, and he hasn't looked great in a long, long time. And some of the shots, he took some big shots, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot to defend those shots, and he landed clean. But Anthony Smith, you can't take it away. You can only fight who gets put in front of you. So he's done a great job. But now this is a pretty big step up now. You have Smith against a big light heavyweight in Oezdemir, who's coming off a loss of Daniel Cormier, to be fair.
Yeah.
And a guy who has serious knockout power. And he's knocked out really good guys like Jimmy Manoa. So it's definitely a big step up. I'd imagine that Volkan's the favourite. I don't know, but I'll be siding with Volkan in this one. But if you want to know who these 2 guys are, you just need to look at their poster. Did you see the poster for this event?
No.
It's just advertising their quickest knockout. So I think it's Volkan 15 seconds and 22 seconds for Anthony Smith. So it has 2 fastest knockouts in the UFC, or their 2 fastest knockouts. So could end early. It'd be interesting if it goes a little bit later, because you'd imagine Smith would probably have the better gas tank. We've kind of seen Oezdemir slow down a little bit in past fights, even the OSP one. Daniel Cormier, you can't,
That's what I was looking at here. I was when I was thinking about this fight, I was like, right, so Smith has got to weather the first 42 seconds of this fight. If he gets past 42 seconds,
that's it.
But yeah, he's done. He's beat him. But he needs to weather he needs to keep it. What I noticed about Volkan Oezdemir is his power in short range is phenomenal. You look at the knockout against Jimmy Manoa. Yeah, that was up against the cage, and Manoa sort of,
shall we say it? What? Shane Carwin You always have to bring it up when someone says short power. Oh. It's obligatory.
All right, no, I'm not saying it.
I will. I said it.
But yeah, I thought his power in short range, sort of like Shane Carwin, is it's excellent, and he does possess that. But what's his game plan when you don't fall over? Now he does have two wins, I think it is, in the UFC. Over St. Peru, he went the distance. Yeah, he has gone the distance in his career. But he's going to have a lot of pressure after getting in there with Daniel Cormier and being beaten. He was well beaten by Daniel Cormier as well. And
it looked like he only had one game plan to try get it done early. And once that was gone,
but again, he is a big light heavyweight, so Anthony Smith will have his hands full. And in fairness, when you look at the Rashad Evans, Rashad was on a 4-fight losing streak at the time. Mauricio Shogun, who we were talking about, when you think about Shogun, Shogun I think at the time was ranked 7th in the world or something. But insane. He was on a good run as well. I'm just pulling up Shogun here. He'd beat Jean Valenti, Corey Anderson, and Nogueira. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a bad run. And then obviously Anthony Smith got in there and got it finished. Nasty elbow. Yeah. But I think it's a cracking fight. But I do think the game plan here for Smith is he's got to stay out of reach and stay outside and don't get in, because that's short power and clinch is Volkan Oezdemir. And we know Mr. B to the D worked a little bit with Volkan as well.
You'd have to imagine though, Volkan, after that loss, he's kind of reevaluated what he has to do, and if it goes longer than that amount of time, and again, this is a different fight. Anthony Smith's not going to try to take him down and wear him out that way,
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. I think against DC, he knows DC will have the gas in the tank. He's done 5 rounds before. He knew he'd have that wrestling pedigree coming into it. So I think he thought, to win this fight, I have to knock out DC.
Yeah.
He's seen DC get caught by the likes of John Jones, get caught by Anthony Rumble Johnson,
so we tried to get it done early,
Silva.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, he was like, yeah, if I land, I can do him. So that was the tactic that went in, and, you know, didn't go his way. But be interesting to see what tactics he adopts going in here. I don't think he'll be as panicked against Anthony Smith. I think he'll be comfortable that he can take his power. Yeah. Even though Smith devastating.
Does hit hard.
Yeah, does hit hard. But yeah, I think
we
this
still
will be a don't blink. That means it's going 3 rounds or 5 rounds, and it's going to be a bar fest. But I think it's going to be Volkan Oezdemir getting his hand raised.
I think so too. But it's almost like one of them heavyweight fights at light heavyweight where if someone lands, it could be it. We don't really know though if Smith's power does translate to light heavyweight yet, because it's against 2 guys who, well, they're not at their chins aren't great now. They're not great. So I think we'll see it here.
I don't like when you say bad things about Shogun.
I know you don't. I'm sorry. Next fight.
Yeah. Michael Johnson steps in, short notice fight against Artem Lobov. This came about because of the melee at UFC 229. Artem had went on social media to basically say don't remove
Zubara
from the fight. But he has been removed.
They had to.
Yeah. Same way Artem was removed from the New York card.
But they shouldn't cut him because...
Has he been cut?
No, well, Dana said, Dana was like
things
pressed
are
on
good
it.
now.
He's like, things are good now. Is he cut? He's not fighting on the card. But is he still with the organisation? He's not on the card. Things are good with Khabib. So
Michael Johnson stepping up here. Good fight for Michael Johnson?
You'd have to think so, wouldn't you? And I did see Chris Fields shared the post when it went out that Artem got this fight, and he said, well, this is a perfect fight for Artem. He fights a better southpaw than Michael Johnson every day, which is true. He fights Michael Johnson. He fights Conor McGregor every day. He's one of his main sparring partners. But like, how much success is Artem getting against Conor McGregor? Is he actually competing with him? I can't imagine so. You know, if someone has seen footage, they can correct me. But just because you spar with someone who's a better version of the guy you're going to fight doesn't mean you're going to beat them. And I think Michael Johnson is just the better striker. He has good reach. He has a beautiful left straight to the body. I think that can hurt Artem. Artem is tough. He's really tough. And I think a lot of people were impressed with that Cub Swanson performance. Like, very, very impressed. That was probably, funny enough, probably Artem's best performance in the UFC, if you look at it. So, you know, I think Artem is tough. He can stay in there. Michael Johnson has weird losses on his record. Like, he has some great wins. He beat Dustin Poirier. He beat all these really good guys. And then he has just these weird losses that you probably shouldn't have never lost against these guys. But he has. I want to get his record up because there's a few that just jump out to me.
Darren Elkins, now isn't it? Like
Darren Elkins is a tough one.
To fight Darren Elkins, you just don't hit him.
Yeah. But like Miles Jury and Reza Madadi. Reza Madadi especially. I know that was a while ago, but that's a weird loss. He should have always beat him. And he almost got out-grappled by him.
Jonathan Brookins back in the day. Jonathan Brookins.
It was a while ago. So his most recent losses have been to Dariush, Nate Diaz, Khabib, Gaethje, Elkins. So they're all, you know, decent losses, as in decent guys. But I'd favour Michael Johnson here. I think his striking's better. Artem's not going to be shooting for takedowns. He's not going to try to out-grapple him. It's going to be a striking fight, I think. Artem could catch him.
But do you think Michael Johnson doesn't take him down? Does he not look at the Andrew Philly fight?
No, Johnson might mix that up, but Artem's not going to mix that up.
Touchy-feely, a long, sort of gangly fighter like Michael Johnson, so he had unbelievable success.
Johnson has a wrestling background as well, I think, as far as I know.
Yeah, so Michael Johnson surely has to look at that to pat the victory. If he looks at the Cub Swanson fight and he's like, well, holy fuck, Cub sort of stood with him and went to 5 rounds, couldn't get him out of there. So, you know, again, Michael Johnson, this is a dangerous fight for him. You know, he's in the I need a win column. I need a win big time here as well.
He's coming off a win, though.
I know, but he's
a bit hot and cold.
He's coming off a win against Andrew Philly, who Philly beat Artem and beat him well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a weird mix of a fight. I think a loss here for Johnson is very damaging. I think a loss here for Lobov, unfortunately, could lead the old marching
especially
papers.
After what happened on the bus.
Yeah, but I got to favour myself here. Unfortunately, Go with Michael Johnson. Sorry, Artem. But big fight for Artem. Big name. Big win.
Yeah,
if he gets the win, like we've seen Artem do it before.
He was the prospect killer. I remember at one point. I know Michael Johnson's not a prospect, but he was like the prospect killer when he was fighting in Europe.
But when you look at him, like the Ishihara, like at the time, Ishihara was well touted.
Yeah,
and a big win.
And plus, he's the GOAT.
Yeah, the biggest win of his career, I think, there. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun fight if Johnson stands with him.
Yeah, it will be. It will be fun. I hope it's like the Cub Swanson fight. You know, that was a fun fight.
Your next bout on the evening then is Misha Cirkunov and Patrick Cummins. What do you got on this one?
Two guys who have not the best fight IQ as far as I would say. I think Misha Cirkunov takes it. I won't go too much into this. I think Misha Cirkunov's grappling is better in terms of submissions than Cummins. Cummins, I think, would be better with his takedowns. On the feet, Cummins takes a lot of damage. He's taken a shit ton of damage over the years from a lot of guys. And I think even if Cummins engages a takedown, you could see Misha Cirkunov in the clinch is really, really good. Those knees from the clinch and elbows, and even he looks for submissions from the clinch. Patrick Cummins, if he gets on top, he has good ground strikes, but he doesn't look for submissions at all. And I think Cirkunov would be able to get back to his feet or at least look for something down there. I'd go with Cirkunov. I think he's just a better fighter, but to be honest, it's a bit of a pick-em because Cirkunov has lost his last two against two good guys. But like, I remember he was beating up Glover on the feet. He was absolutely beating him up, and then he got into a clinch situation, got taken down very, very easily, which is not good when you're fighting a wrestler like Cummins, and then got submitted. So, Cirkunov.
He was knocked out by Glover.
Yeah, sorry. He got his back taken, then he got strike.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Patrick Cummins here because he was the last guy that beat Daniel Cormier.
Oh, yeah. Made him cry.
Remember that was the big sell.
Yeah, he made him cry, yeah.
I'm going to go with Cummins here because you look at Cirkunov, and again, it's no shame. Glover knocked him out and Volkan knocked him out. So, you know, Chinny, maybe? No, I think it's unfair to say Chinny in that sense.
He just takes a lot of damage.
I think that's the thing. Patrick Cummins is that type of guy that you beat the shit out of him and 10 seconds
he
to
still
go.
comes forward, yeah. He's always a bloody mess.
It's going to be an awful fight. And by awful, I mean it's going to be an awful brawl. Like, it's going to be like, it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. Cummins, get the nod.
Yeah.
Probably go decision, split decision. Patrick Cummins.
Great stuff.
Great stuff indeed. Who's next?
Andre Sukumtat.
Jonathan Martins, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go too much into this, but I can't pick Andre Sukumtat for just the simple reason of he fought Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley done something with his leg. I don't know what happened. I think he tore his ACL or something. Something mental happened, or he rolled his ankle. And then Sukumtat starts shooting takedowns on him for some reason. Yeah. Don't know why.
Talking about fighter IQ there a moment ago.
So, yeah. And then he also has these two split decision losses on his UFC record where he didn't really do a whole lot. Like, he could have pressed the action a bit more, just didn't land enough. Martinez, I'll be honest, don't know a huge amount about him. Watched a few of his highlights. Looks like a decent fighter. Has a lot of submission wins. I'm gonna go for him. I just think Sukumtat, after that Sean O'Malley one, I was just like, oh my god, what was going on here? Shooting for takedowns.
Martin's 9-1. To me, this looks like this is a prospect coming in.
Yeah.
Let's build him.
He has a lot of knockouts as well.
Yeah. So Jonathan Martins for me, just on I don't know a lot about him.
I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him either.
I would imagine, like, his only loss as well is a DQ, an illegal knee.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been beaten.
Yeah.
He beat himself.
Great stuff.
So Jonathan Martins the prospect here. So just what you do is go in, pretend you're limping.
He'll shoot a takedown.
Yeah, get a takedown.
And then grab a dart or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Game plan.
Tactics.
I don't know if this is on the main card. Jean Valente and Ed Herman. Is this the last one on the main card?
There's one more after that.
Jesus,
I think.
I tell you.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a bigger fan of Topology. I'm using sheer here.
I have the two fights here. Jean Valente, Ed Herman. What's your thoughts? Let you go first in this one.
I like Jean Valente just
because of his affiliations.
Yeah. Just Ray Longo.
Yeah.
And Matt Serra, like, so. Yeah. Ed Herman is years ago, he's always what I say, never fight a ginger bloke.
Yeah.
Because they're just nuts.
Yeah.
Now he's on an absolute skid really at the moment. He's lost his last two fights. So he is on the downward slope. While Jean Vellante, again, I think Jean's coming off a loss as well, is he?
I think so, yeah.
But
for me, I think
yeah,
these...
Sam Alvey beat him, man.
For me, I think these are like very similar fighters, but Ed Herman is like the older version of Jean Vellante.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who, if you go in there and you scrap with him, probably you might lose it, you might get caught with something. And Jean Vellante, sometimes he's winning these fights and then just does something silly and then gets caught. Or he gets into a brawl, he's out, like he's jabbing, he's crossing, he's moving, and then he's like, oh no, fuck this, and he starts brawling with guys and then just gets landed on. I think they're very, very similar, and they're just very inconsistent. Like, they're people who you'd never want to really bet on, for me anyway.
100%. That is a great way of actually looking at it. You do
so
not want to bet on either.
I'm going to bet on Jean Vellante.
Yeah, so I'm sticking it all. I agree.
Yeah.
Jean Vellante. And it's just...
Bet your money on it.
I think
at your
Ed
house.
Herman has more miles on his clock.
That's what I think it is. Yeah, I think Jean Vellante will take a better shot if they brawl, which I think is what's going to happen.
100% they're going to fucking
Yeah, so I think...
Like, I'm not expecting, Jean Vellante to come in light on his feet.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And circle
Him
around
and Ari
and
rolls.
yeah,
Bam.
you know what I mean? And then getting out of there and, you know what I mean? And doing, you know what I mean? On Muay Thai stuff. They're going to come in. They're going to stand in front of one another. You could draw, like, a little square in the middle of the
they'll stand
cage.
there.
Watch, it'll be the most footwork in a fight. And they'll just stand and absolutely throw down. So
Vellante will come in like Dominic Cruz,
and
watch.
I stick my money on Jean Vellante landing the winning shot.
Bet the house on it.
Jean Vellante, yeah, go. Jean Vellante finish.
Yeah. The next fight, Court McGee against Alex Garcia. For me, it's a similar enough fight to that one. Whereas Court McGee is a really tough guy, kind of like Ed Herman, where he'll come forward and takes a lot of damage in his fights. But if you let him stay in the fight, if you don't finish him early, he might be able to take you out in the third round, or at least take the second half of the fight and might win a close decision. Garcia, he's one of them guys who, he's a big guy. Sometimes he slows down, so you never know. Court McGee could, come on strong later. But I just think that Alex Garcia will be able to defend takedowns. He's a bigger hitter. I think his striking's better. I think he wins a decision or finishes Court. But Court's one of them really tough guys. You never know.
Yeah, Court. I think if Garcia can stop the takedown,
yeah,
I think
he does slow down though.
Court McGee his striking is very. He strikes the takedown.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean. It's real
fundamentals.
Yeah, it's been like good fighter. What a story, Court McGee.
Yeah, what a story.
Heroin addict. Like, when I'm right in saying it was heroin addict, wasn't he?
I think it was heroin. Yeah,
it was a big drug anyway.
Matt Brown was
class
heroin
A
as well,
drug.
wasn't
Yeah, so like serious story by Court McGee. Trained out of the pit, wasn't he? Is he still?
He might be.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell is in the camp.
Skill, motherfucker. But Court McGee, if he doesn't get the takedown, you got to favour Alex Garcia. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
can't disagree with it. But it's mad because we're saying, like, looking at the card where they're going, they're going to stand and brawl. This could be an absolute classic, old-fashioned style MMA bout.
It could be, yeah.
Card, I mean, sorry.
Card, yeah.
So the likes of Johnson, Artem Lobov, that could be an absolute
little scrap, yeah.
Scrap and a half.
Main event could be
Sergonov Cummins could be an absolute scrap as well. It could be a grapple exchange as well, though, and just like cancelling each other out. Vulcan and Smith, unbelievable.
Vellante Herman could be a bit of a scrap, yeah.
Further down the card as well, making his MMA a long awaited MMA debut, UFC debut, I should say. Chris Fishgold. Imagine making your MMA debut. Fucking CM Punk, huh? Chris Fishgold, former Cage Warriors champion, steps into the UFC. Seems like an eternity ago, wasn't it? It was UFC Liverpool he signed, wasn't it?
UFC Liverpool, famously they had the Twitter video where Graham Boylan basically had him on camera saying, we're going to do a sponsorship video, and then showed him the UFC thing, and then he kind of broke down in tears, which was nice. I like to see people break down.
Yeah,
it was a nice moment.
See grown men break down.
But we kind of spoke about this. Like, you signed with the UFC, but you didn't really.
You didn't sign the contract.
You didn't sign the contract. Like, do you want to sign with the UFC? Is there any reason why you don't? But, of course he does.
A little look behind the curtain. Chris was meant to be with us this week.
Yeah. So I'm picking Calvin Cater to win this fight.
So Chris didn't meet us this week. So Calvin Cater, first round KO. Now,
it's a big test for him.
Yeah, and
Calvin Cater's good.
I think that's a credit as well, though, to Fishgold.
Yeah,
he's coming in like we talked about test. Who would step up if Max Holloway fell out.
Yeah,
his only loss on Cater's record
is Moncano.
No, sorry, not his only loss. His last loss.
His only UFC loss is Moncano.
So, like, this is a bit. So you're talking, you think if anyone could step up in Moncano, and here's Calvin Cater who just fought him fighting Fishgold. So Fishgold is not taking an easy first bout. Fishgold is 17-1 himself, like, so very experienced.
Yeah,
that Cage Warriors title as well. We've seen the success that fighters have had in the UFC coming off that as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good fight.
It's
low
kind
down the
of
card
it's
as well.
kind of surprising down the card. If you look, Stevie Ray is on the opener
Opening the
prelim,
card,
which
yeah.
is a pretty big name. Arjun Buller, who they got behind because he's the first Punjabi or Sheik. I don't know what the Sikh. But he had like a big story coming into MMA, coming into the UFC, and he's really far down the card. So just and then your man Hasparat. Nasrat Hasparat, who looked absolutely phenomenal in his last contest. He's far down the card as well. There's some Sean Strickland, Nordin Taleb.
Are we going through the whole card now?
No, it's just it's a decent card.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
it.
So that's what I mean.
End the show.
It's thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that's it.
But good card. Again, like it's not. You know the way sometimes they build cards. And
you're gonna say
no, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. You know the way they build cards though, and they make a real spectacular card, and then this card sort of whispers up on you.
Yeah.
And not a lot about it, and then you end up watching. Go, what a fucking card!
Like what I always say, they're not all the biggest names.
Not household names.
Household names. Sorry, I messed it up. Continue.
But it's a weird one this week. It's
sorry for the short show and the weird one. As you said, we were supposed to have Fish Goal now.
Yeah, Chris was meant to come on, but unfortunately, time got away from him, and he had other things to do more important than talk to myself and Robert. Yep. So that's obviously Fight Talk 124. It's 125 next week, Rob.
Yes.
When is it the week after?
126.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not too sure about that. Big news coming for obviously Fight Talk. We keep teasing you with that. It's just because we can't say it because it hasn't been said. So you'll find out probably next week, I think.
Probably,
you'll find out. Like a little bit of news will break.
Oh, we said a new producer. We said it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, we know we have a new producer.
I thought that was the news.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
Bigger
I'm
news.
in the dark as well.
Bigger news than Sean. But yet, this has been 124. I've been Noel O'Keefe. He's been Robert Palin. Again, it was short. We sort of stretched out the stories to get a show.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened this week, in fairness.
No.
Though.
So comment below with everything we talked about.
But watch, it'll be like last week. We finished the show last week and news dropped left, right and centre about absolutely everything. And we're like, well, Rob, you know what we were talking about, live chat on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But are you having a live chat again on Thursday night? And what time can the people tune in?
Yes. 8 p.m. UK Irish time, I think.
So that works
on
out
Thursday. 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. And 5
and 12 p.m. Pacific. Don't know. 1 p.m. I don't know. Work it out.
Figure it
Google
out.
it.
Google it. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. Just come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Most likely Jason for
Jason
MMA Point.
MMA Point.
MMA Point. Yeah.
MMA on Point. But thanks for tuning in and hit like, subscribe. We didn't do that at the start. We do it now. If you guys haven't already, you aren't gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll see you all next week and join Robin Thursday night.